Starfleet Academy is supposed to be where the best of the best are trained. The future captains, the smartest minds. But once you look closer, something feels very wrong. This Starfleet Academy is worse than you think. 10. The timeline already feels broken.
Caleb. What's that one? Right there.
Let's start with where this show even takes place. It's set far into the future, long after the Federation basically collapsed. Warp travel stopped working for a while, planets were cut off, everything fell apart. Now the Federation is slowly rebuilding, and Starfleet is trying to rise again. That sounds like a strong setup, a galaxy trying to recover, a chance to rebuild something better.
We are going to go visit Earth first, that's right.
But the problem is how it's presented. You're told the universe went through a massive crisis, a galaxy-wide disaster, and yet everything looks normal. There's no real sense of struggle, no visible damage, no tension. It feels like we skipped the consequences and jumped straight into a polished version of things. So right away, the stakes feel off. Because if the world doesn't look broken, then why should we believe it ever was? 9. Starfleet is split into two completely different systems.
Let's go! Show me you're worthy of this uniform!
One of the biggest changes is that Starfleet is now divided. There's the Academy, focused on exploration and peace, and there's a separate, war-focused branch. That sounds interesting on paper, but in execution, it creates confusion. Starfleet was always about balance, exploration, yes, but also defense when needed. That mix is what made it strong. Now it feels like two extremes. One side is overly idealistic, the other is purely military. And the Academy, which should train future leaders, feels disconnected from real danger. Like it's pretending the galaxy is safe when it clearly isn't. That gap makes everything feel less believable. 8. The main character shouldn't even be there.
One day, when we have our own ship.
Now let's talk about Caleb. He's the main character, and honestly, his entire presence raises questions. He has a criminal past, a history of trouble. He's not stable. He's not disciplined. And yet he gets accepted into Starfleet Academy? Think about that for a second. This is supposed to be the place for the most elite candidates. People who are calm under pressure, smart, responsible.
You just stop telling the story. Be a part of it.
So why would they bring in someone like him? The show tries to explain it with a deal. Join the Academy and he gets help finding his mother. But that feels more like a shortcut than a real reason. Because realistically, training someone like this is a risk. And Starfleet doesn't usually take risks like that with leadership positions. 7. Training happens on a starship for no reason.
Show me you're worthy of this uniform!
I want to be captain.
Here's another strange choice. The cadets are put on a starship almost immediately. That sounds exciting, but it doesn't make sense. Starfleet Academy is supposed to train people first, teach them the basics, build their skills, then send them into space. Instead, this show skips that process. They're thrown into a real mission environment before they're ready. And the ship itself feels off. It's huge, almost like a cruise ship, not a practical starship. So instead of feeling like a training experience, it feels like a shortcut to action. 6. The crew feels like a checklist.
To the people around you.
I understand. Sometimes I feel invisible.
Not a team. When we meet the rest of the cadets, something stands out. They don't feel like real people. Each character feels designed to fit a role, not to grow or change, but to represent something. You've got the tough one, the arrogant one, the emotional one, the quirky one. And instead of building relationships naturally, the show pushes them together quickly. Resolutions happen even faster.
Thank heaven. Mr. Scott, there was no deity involved.
So nothing really feels earned. In older Star Trek, characters developed over time. you learned who they were through choices and consequences. Here, it feels rushed, like we're being told who they are instead of shown. 5. The Klingon character doesn't feel like a Klingon.
A warrior does not let a friend face danger alone.
This one stands out a lot. We get a Klingon character, but he doesn't act like one. Klingons are known for their warrior culture, honor, strength, discipline, that internal struggle between duty and emotion. But here, that's missing.
Face danger alone.
I've spent my whole life getting away from...
Instead, the character feels disconnected from that identity, almost like the label is there, but the meaning isn't. And that's a problem, because Klingons are one of the most iconic parts of Star Trek. If you remove what makes them unique, they stop feeling real. 4. The villain's plan makes no sense.
I'm so sorry.
You hold on to how much you hate me right now, kid.
Then we get the main conflict of the episode. A villain shows up. He attacks the ship, and his goal is to steal the warp core. But here's the issue. He already has advanced technology, the kind that can disable ships easily. So why risk everything for something like a warp core?
Something. It is coming with a big red bow.
It feels like the story needed a reason for the conflict, so it created one, without thinking it through. And when the motivation doesn't make sense, the tension disappears, because you're not worried about what happens. You're questioning why it's happening at all. 3. The technology breaks its own rules. There are moments where things just don't add up. A hologram interacts physically with people. That shouldn't happen. A captain is forced into a chair by something that shouldn't have physical presence. And characters use outdated tools when advanced solutions should exist. These are small details, but they add up because Star Trek has always cared about internal logic. Even when things were fictional, they followed rules. Here, those rules feel inconsistent. 2. The tone undercuts every serious moment.
Is anybody listening?
Man, why does everything have to be a...
This might be the biggest issue. Anytime the show tries to be serious, something interrupts it. A joke, a sarcastic comment, a quick line that breaks the tension. And while humor is fine, timing matters. If you remove tension too quickly, nothing feels important, nothing has weight.
With the arm of the chair.
No, Mr. Spock. I meant, what happened to us?
Older Star Trek let moments breathe. It allowed silence, reflection, consequences. Here, everything moves fast, too fast. So even big events feel small. 1, it doesn't feel like Star Trek anymore.
Mind, Spock. Just get on with the job.
When you put everything together, this is the biggest problem. It just doesn't feel like Star Trek. Star Trek was about exploration, ideas, big questions about humanity and the future. It made you think. This feels different. Faster, simpler, focused more on surface level moments than deeper meaning. And that's why it feels off. Because the name is still there, the setting is still there, but the core feeling is missing.
It's time for you to stop.
Starfleet Academy was supposed to show the future of Starfleet, but instead, it shows just how far it's drifted.